Object-oriented programming concepts are a way to organize your code so that your code can be maintainable and no one else working on some other feature is going to disturb whatever the code you have written. I have already prepared the code which will show you how you can achieve the same task with no oops to complete oops, and I am going to show you step by step by applying abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism one by one. And at the end of this video you will be knowing how oops concepts are going to provide strength to your code and make your development much better. Hello people, this is Nishit and I am going to show you the complete significance of oops concept, and also you can mention the topic which ghosts you in the comment section so that I can make it easier for you. So we don't have much time, let's see the code straight away. As you can see here, I have 5 files here. The first one is named as no oops because we are doing the same thing, the same task, but with no oops concept that we do in our high school classes. Before looking into the code, I want you to consider a scenario that you are in a team working on a product that is an inventory management software for a pet shop. The pet shop deals in 4 types of animals: dog, cat, fish and birds. So they have to enter the details of birds and add them to their stocks. So you are assigned a task where you are liable for making a page where someone enters the detail of the product, or we can say the pet that is going to be added into the inventory. You are required to ask 3 questions to the person and he will answer the question. Then you will be adding it to the database. But to make it simple, we are using terminal here. We have no UI, we have no database here. We will be taking input from the terminal and then at the last we will be just showing the information that he has entered. That is a basic concept. I am assuming that you already know that classes do exist in coding and methods do exist here. Rest of the things I am going to show you. As you can see here, this is the working of this app. We don't have UI here, but we are just taking the terminal as an input. So it is asking for the first question, that is animal type. I am going to enter dog here. And now it is asking for the color of the animal. The dog is black, so I am entering black here. It is asking for the age, so I mentioned 52 here. Dog is not going to be 52 years older, but just a number. So we can see here the last call, that is the show data is called, and we are here able to see the data we have entered. Now coming to the code, as you can see here, here is the question 1. You have to take input for the type of animal. So you will be asking what is the type of animal, and the user will be entering the number of the animal. So you will show the number, he will enter the number whichever the animal suits. Then based on that number you will be asking for the color of the animal, that is the question 2. Here you can see the question 2 is the color of the animal. If we take example of the birds, birds can be blue or green, but dogs cannot be blue or green, and fish can be golden. So each animal have different color. You are going to ask based on the animal the user entered, you are going to show the colors and ask him whichever the color among the list is this animal going to be. Then you will be in the third question. You will ask the third question, that is the age of the animal. What is the age of animal? So you will simply ask the age of animal and get any number in the age. Then you will, as we are not going to do a development here, we are not sending data to the database, we are just going to show the data in the terminal as an output. So this is the final step, that is just for the convenience purpose. Now you can see, if I make it a bit more smaller, you can see how it is going to affect, like we are doing something here, then something here. If you are going to make any changes, if you are asked to make any changes, let's say we haven't used these both things here. If you are asked to get the animal sound input from the user, then you will also know, come here, for animal 1 you will be doing this, for animal 2 you will be doing this, for animal 3 you will be doing this. And the person, let's say you are not going to maintain this code later, someone else is assigned the same task and he is going to do the same, but what is the guarantee? He is so responsible, and he is well aware of the code, what is going on. He needs to understand the code first, and then he will make the changes wherever required. There is a very high chance that he is going to mess the things up and your written code will be ruined. So if you don't want this to be happen, then you have to follow the OOPS concept. Let's apply the first pillar of the OOPS, that is abstraction. Coming to the abstraction class, you can see here we are making the separate class. As you can see, this class is named as dog. So the dog class is here. You can see the dog class here. It has some properties like animal sound and animal type. These both properties are specific to the dog. The animal color which will be entered. Here is the colored list, that is also specific to the dogs. Birds are not going to have the same color. Every animal is going to have the different list. So this is in the class dog, that is specific for the dog. Here is the method to get the color. Here is the method to get the age for the dog. And here we are going to show the data, because the dogs have something else and the birds may have something else. Simply like the cats have different colors. We can see here cat has different sounds. We can hard code them in the separate class of them. So classes are just a blueprint that will be having some methods and some properties specific to that object. This is the class dog, this is the class cat, and like this we can have the class fish and we can have the class bird. So each class have their own specific properties, each class have their own specific methods. And in the main function we are going to now manage things easier. Like we can say if the animal type 1 is dog, then we can make an object of the dog. This was the class, the blueprint of the object, and you made an object out of it. From this class you can have multiple dogs, like we can say dog 1, and here we can have dog 2. So this way you can have, and these two dogs are made from a single class, made from a single blueprint, but will have different properties however you deal with it. For now I am going to just do it like this. Now you can see we have an object dog. We are calling the properties to get color. From that dog class we are going to call a method, that is get color, then we are getting the age, then we are showing the data, and that's it. We are not going to do anything here. We have done everything in the dog class above. So this makes our code a lot more easier. But there is a risk that someone working on this program can change the actual logic whatever you have built. How? Let me show you. Let's say you have entered the age of the dog here, and now you are going to show the data here. Someone in this program wrote something like dog.age, animal age. Animal age was an property. Here you can see animal age. We are taking input from this method. So in here, after taking the input from the user, someone resetted the age and put it 0. So whatever user entered doesn't going to exist there for the end of the program, because after taking the input the age has been set again. So this is a risk. As you will be showing the data, the output is never gonna be the same. So you have to find a way. But how would you do that? You can make the some properties private, so that no one else is going to change the logic that you have built. So here we are going to do that. Now you can see here we have the abstraction class, and here we have the encapsulation. This is the next step of the OOPS, the second principle of the OOPS concept. As you can see here, we have all the properties in the public. Now we have all the properties in the private. So these properties are not going to be there for the use of anyone else apart from this class. Out of this class, these properties will not be accessible. The methods developed inside of this class can access the private property, but anywhere out of this cannot be accessible. Let me show you how it is going to work. So I have minimized both side classes. Now we have the same methods here. In the abstraction file, I am going to make the changes dog.animal age is equal to 0, and it is absolutely fine. There is no change. Also you can see, like if I enter dog dot, as I press dog, you can see there are various properties I can access in here, but if I want them to access here, I cannot. You can see it here. We have just 3 methods that are the public method developed in the dog class. You can see it here. Inside of public, we have just 3 methods, this one and this one and this one. So we cannot access any private property out of this if we have applied encapsulation. Encapsulation is just a way to wrapping things in the private members so that no one else can access that. If you have the intention to access that property and change it, then you can only go to that class and make changes there, so that no one else working on some other file can make changes unwillingly or by mistake. So this will provide strength to your class, and you can be assured that no one is going to ruin the logic that you have built by making encapsulation, right? I hope till now you have understanding my points. Working is going to look actually the same throughout the OOPS, whatever steps we are going to, but you need to understand the difference is going to be there in the implementation of classes. How we implement the classes is the way to say we have applied OOPS concept. You have seen encapsulation, but there is some problem in encapsulation. Let me show you by making font size smaller. You can see here, like we have some properties common, like all the animals have type, sound and color. All the animals, let it be dog, let it be cat, all the animals are going to have the same properties. So it is just like repeating yourself. We are making the class and we are repeating ourselves in every class we make. Either it's bird or it's animal. Here we have only 4 classes. There can be multiple objects. So what we can do is we can take the common part out of it and inherit from them. What we are going to do right now, we know that dog, cat, fish and all the animals are a part of animal community. They are going to have the same properties an animal can have. They will be varying by the type of the animal, but they are all animal. So here the inheritance comes into the pictures. Now if you compare the class dog from encapsulation to inheritance, this is somewhat shorter than the encapsulation. How? Because we are not going to declare every element in here as private. They are coming from the class animal. The syntax we are following here is called the adding inheritance. This is the way of adding inheritance. We have made a class called animal where we have some protected, some public, or also we can have the private. I will tell you what is this protected and private, everything. But for now, keep in mind that if we have inherited from the animal class, all the properties mentioned in the animal class are going to be there for the dog class, because we are inheriting from animal. Whatever the properties an animal class has will be available for this dog class, because we are inheriting here. So if I show you, you can see here you are using animal color inside of dog class, but you haven't defined it before. There is no property called animal color, because that is coming from this animal. we have defined it here: animal class, animal type, animal age, and animal sound. We have made a separate color list because a dog will be having another color. Animals don't have any color specified. So for dogs, these are the colors. And this way you can see here I have added a method with the same name as class. In fact, the first letter is capital in both. So this is called as constructor. Whenever the object is created, whenever you make a copy of this object, you will be getting some default values. So I have added a constructor here. Whenever this class is called, this constructor will do whatever you have mentioned here. I have hard coded animal type and animal sound here, so that whenever this object is called, these values will be available for the object made from this class. So this is the power of inheritance. You don't have to mention all the properties again and again. You can have the specified features, and the common features will be coming from this animal class. As you can see in the cat, while we were just encapsulating the things, we had this much of lengthy code inside of cat class. But for now we have just a smaller class, that is this, that just have a single method. Also the method is coming from this animal class. There are two methods coming from this animal class, the store data and get age from user, because they don't have any object specific thing, so they are just common for all the animals. So I have mentioned it here. See, dog is the derived class and animal is a base class. That we know because animal is a parent class and dog is inherited from it. So the private properties of animal class, that is base class, will not be available for the derived class. Dog will not have access to the private properties of the base class. So for this purpose we need to make it protected. If this is protected, then only the inherited member can use these properties. Only inherited class, just like the private variable, but also private is limited to the same class, but protected is limited to the inherited class also. Before moving on to the next step, let me tell you that inheritance are of two types: multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. What does multiple inheritance means is, you can see animal and dog class are inherited here, and for the cat class you are inheriting animal. You can inherit other class also, like you can inherit a dog class here. So the cat will be having the properties of animal and a dog class also. So you are inheriting multiple classes, a derived class inheriting from multiple base classes. This will be called as multiple inheritance. And what is multi-level inheritance? Multi-level inheritance is just simple, like you have a base class animal, then you have a derived class dog, which is inheriting from this dog class is inheriting from animal class. Now you are using this dog class to inherit on some other class. So you can see here, if the cat class is derived from this dog class, you can see this is the child of dog. The way of thinking, it is the child of dog class now. So dog class is the base class for this cat class. This is called as multi-level inheritance. Now let's move on to the polymorphism. Polymorphism is actually very easy. It's just a name for method overriding. There are two types of polymorphism, but I am going to show you a very simple example. You will easily get the idea of it. So I have mentioned a method named property here inside of animal class. What you can see here is, I am overwriting this method. I am redefining the method inside of dog class. Though it was already implemented inside of animal, we can also make the same name method in the derived class. There is no problem in that. And if I call dog.property, then you will see like dog is a loyal pet. If you don't mention the property here, you will also access dog.property, but you will see this message gets printed, it's an animal by nature. So make sure to mention the feedback of this video and mention another topic that you want me to make videos on. Thank you. Bye bye.